important to mention about the ways how not to spend bounce back loans. Okay. What not to do. If you are a company director and you receive your wages through the company, you can use bounce back loan money to pay your own wages. Normal. If you've been paying yourself, say, £2,000 a month, and all the whole of it is the wages, not dividends. That's really, really important to make that differentiation. Income can be paid from bounce back loan. It's the whole idea, to help you, to help your workers, and yes, you can do it. However, dividends cannot be paid from bounce back loan because dividends should be paid from your company profits. So no paying yourself dividends. So that's really important to bear in mind. The next thing, what not to do, is paying yourself as a company director or indeed self-employed higher wages. There's no definition in higher wages. Okay, some would say maybe increase in maybe 20 or 30%, perhaps may be reasonable, but what to cover for? I would say paying your normal wage as you had prior to the COVID-19 crisis would be reasonable. However, if you're paying yourself twice or maybe 3 times of the wages that you were getting before COVID-19, that could be against the rules. So I strongly advise you not to pay yourself much higher wages than you used to before COVID-19 and you took out this loan. The other no, in my view, is withdrawing cash. Let's say if you're a company director, you receive £50,000 in your company bank account, and the temptation is quite big. Temptation is perhaps to withdraw that money, thinking, oh, 1 year I will probably manage, I will find a way to repay that money, I'll just give the money back. And some company directors can take this money out in cash, just simply in cash, or as company loan. And if that company loan not repaid by the end of the fund in 9 months' time, then that loan will attract a higher interest rate. It would be 39% interest rates from the government on that money. And you still would be liable for paying that money. So I strongly advise you, do not withdraw cash for yourself. You can withdraw cash if you can prove that the money has been spent for your business needs. Okay, paying yourself in cash substantial amounts of money, in my view, is not considerable. It cannot be considered as for business needs. And the next thing, definitely don't do for bounce back loan, is running away with the cash, hoping that no one will ever find you. This is the wrong idea. Some company directors or some self-employed people perhaps think again, because of this loan is so-called government-backed, it means that financial institutions supposed to receive that money if they don't receive them from their clients or from their debtors, and then is what's going to happen. Not really. If for some reason, say you run away with the money that you withdraw, say especially the cash, you transfer money into your account, whatever, without considering consequences, without thinking about what would happen, then you're not going to get away. Or your company will be forced into liquidation by your creditors because they will be chasing you. Or what's more, on top of that, the insolvency practitioner who, let's say, appointed as your company liquidates by your creditors will have to carry out an investigation. An investigation may result in criminal action. Not, according to the statistics, it doesn't happen very often. It happens in rare cases. However, it's quite possible. If you took out money, withdrawn cash, run away, and that's it. Nobody can find you in the UK. Then again, your debt can be sold. If you're personally liable for the debt, as a company director or self-employed person, for example, then your liquidator, company liquidator, your creditors, debt collectors, bailiffs in Europe especially can chase you for money. The company liquidator or your creditors, they can get county court judgments if they feel you're personally liable for that debt. And if they obtain county court judgments, then of course if they can prove that it was fraudulent application, then they can pursue you, and certainly they will pursue you throughout the European Union and other countries. How likely is that to happen? I cannot give you the exact figures. I cannot tell you one formula that works for all. I cannot give you one size that fits all businesses. All those criteria, my professional opinion and my general view on the situation in the market, after talking with my clients, after having a number of consultations with company directors and self-employed in various industries, I can see the pattern. There are some people, some businessmen, they really appreciate the help and they want to spend money on running their own business. And they want to know what happens if they're unable to repay. There are a number of options I'll give you in the end. At the same time, there's the other type of people who just think that they think they can take as much money, they can run away, hoping that no one will ever find that, and they can get away with repaying debt. Then I have a bad news for you, because these days it's easier and easier to find a debtor in the European Union. Even though UK has left European Union, laws of EU still applicable until the end of this year. After, on the 1st of January 2021, laws will change. However, it's still quite a market, billions and billions of pounds market, where debts, consumer debts, business debts are sold from one investor into another one. Those investors, you can invest if you want into bad debt portfolios, and then if you feel you could chase that debts are in Lithuania, in Latvia, and other countries, if you feel you have resources for that. So there are possibilities of chasing and finding debtors for bounce back loan as well. So those things, in my view, important to remember. Let's summarize. Things I would say definitely don't do with bounce back loan money. 1. Paying yourself higher wages. 2. Paying yourself dividends as the company director. 3. Withdrawing cash or just taking money out of the company for your personal needs and then thinking no one will ever chase you for that. And number 4, just taking money, not caring about anything else and running away. Those 4 definitely, in my view, don't do with bounce back loan money. The consequences can be quite severe. In the worst case scenario, there could be fraud, depending on the amounts of money involved. But the worst case scenario is criminal investigation for fraud or misconduct or deception. In other cases scenario, it could be disqualification from the company directorship for between 2 to 15 years. And the 3, I would say that the punishments or the consequences of wrongful spends or wrongful investments of bounce back loan money, you personally, as a director or self-employed, may be asked to give that money back. With self-employed, it's understandable. You are your own business and you guarantee it by your personal assets, whatever assets you have, except of your own car, that single car that you have, and your house. In case of company directors, you should be protected, as there is no personal guarantee required in most of the cases.